So this was something I've been thinking about lately, and I thought, let's make a video about it. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, I don't know what I titled this yet because I am a big proprietor of not clickbaiting. And if you don't know what clickbaiting is, essentially clickbaiting is like the best way to earn money. And then I talk about, building cars for 20 minutes. At the very end, I'm like, get a job. That's clickbaiting. It's giving you a title, wanting you to click on it. Clickbaiting, click on it to watch it, and the title has nothing to do with what the content is. So I don't like clickbaiting. Clickbaiting is one of my biggest pet peeves. I absolutely hate clickbaiting, and I've never done it. But this subject is something that I've been thinking about lately, and it has to do with franchise quarterbacks, and it has to do with what the Dolphins have done versus what other teams have done when it comes to franchise quarterbacks, and obviously so that has to do with Tua Tagovailoa. So we're going to talk about this. But before we talk about that, I do have to shout out today's sponsor, Manscaped.com. Sunday, Father's Day. Your father's hairy. You might be hairy. You might be a father who's also hairy. Go out, get yourself some Manscaped. They have a great promo coming out for Father's Day. You get the Lawnmower 4.0. It's waterproof. It's cordless. It's got a little charging station. I have one. I use it on my face, and I am a father, so now I am very hairy. It has a light. I don't suggest doing it in the dark, but you could if you want to. It's got a light, skin-safe technology. Lawnmower 4.0, and you get the Boxers 2.0. Very, very, very comfortable. Nice, like, fabric on it and everything. Very breathy. Go out, get it. Use a promo code DDW20. You get yourself 20% off, and you get free shipping. So if you're a dad, treat yourself. Or if you have your dad, treat him, because again, dads are hairy and they need this. So manscaped.com, DDW20, get yourself or your dad some really good stuff. So essentially, we want Tua Tagovailoa to be the franchise quarterback. We want him to be our franchise quarterback. The Cincinnati Bengals found their franchise quarterback. The Los Angeles Chargers found their franchise quarterback. We are hoping and praying Tua Tagovailoa becomes our franchise quarterback. And it sucks because Justin Herbert's rookie year, they knew they had a franchise quarterback. Boom. Last year, Joe Burrow stamps it. Boom, I'm your franchise quarterback. I took you to the Super Bowl. I mean, offense, we're sitting here like, do we have a franchise quarterback? And my biggest question, and again, I don't know what I named this video. My biggest question is, and I looked at Joe Burrow and I looked at Justin Herbert's situation, did we treat Tua Tagovailoa like a franchise quarterback? Did we treat Tua Tagovailoa like the 5th overall pick? Because doing some research, and I will talk about it, the Bengals and the Chargers treated their quarterbacks like franchise quarterbacks from jump. The Miami Dolphins, on the other hand, well, I don't know. We'll talk about that, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to go over essentially what each team did for their quarterback, and I'll let you guys decide. And at the end, I'll give you a little spiel about how I feel. So we're going to start with Joe Burrow. He's the 1st overall pick. Came in the Cincinnati Bengals, and his quarterback literally asked him, and he says Joe Burrow was asked to give the Bengals his 10 favorite plays from the LSU playbook so they can incorporate that into their offense for 2020. The Bengals literally told Joe Burrow, let us know your favorite plays. We're going to put them in the playbook. So it's your transition going from college to the NFL can be an easier transition. Like, you kidding me right now? They literally, obviously he's the 1st overall pick, so they're going to, but that's what I'm talking about. They treated him like the franchise quarterback. We want you to be successful. We're going to treat you like our franchise quarterback. So let's go. Let's see what you can do. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And why did he get hurt? Because his offensive line was hard cash doo-doo butter. Horrible offensive line. The ranking for their offensive line in 2020 was 30th. It was bad, and it cost Joe Burrow his rookie season. So again, what do the Cincinnati Bengals do, right? You have Joe Burrow. He has this gnarly scar on his knee. What do? That's your franchise quarterback. You need to do everything in your power to make sure your franchise quarterback is comfortable, healthy, and can play a full season. So what do? They go out, they sign tackle Riley Reif. They draft 3 offensive linemen, Carmen in the 2nd round, Smith in the 4th round, Hill in the 6th round. And then to sprinkle a little bit on top of that, because he still had really good players around him in T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon, they bring in his buddy Jamar Chase. Now, we all thought, you should have took Penei Sewell. But Jamar Chase, we've seen what he does. Franchise quarterback. We're going to give you 4 offensive linemen to try to help you there. We're going to give you Jamar Chase, your guy, to add to T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon, your running back. And this offense is going to be really good around you. And we're going to protect you and make sure that you don't get another bad knee injury. And it worked. Now, did their offensive line go from 30th to the best? No. But their offensive line went from ranked 30th last year to 20th this year. It worked. They essentially said to Joe Burrow, you're our franchise quarterback. We're going to build around you. Look what they did this past season. Added Ted Karras, added all the Coleman, added all these guys to make that offensive line even better for him. So it's going to probably be higher than a 20th. It might be a 10th best offensive line in the NFL. That's what you do for your franchise quarterback. Now, again, they're doing this now because he stamped that name. But even like I said, coming out his rookie year, they implemented an offense for him. They asked him what his favorite plays were from LSU so they can implement it. He gets injured. Hey, this is our franchise guy. We need to build around him. That's what you do with a franchise quarterback. Let's talk about Justin Herbert, right? Justin Herbert, of the 3 teams that took quarterbacks in the top 6 picks, Justin Herbert was drafted probably into the best situation, right? His rookie year, he had Eckler, Allen, Williams, and Hunter Henry. He had weapons, right? But his offensive line was hot garbage. But he had weapons, and it was another situation where they catered the offense to Justin Herbert, right? They found out what his play style was, and they catered it to him. They made sure he was comfortable in that offense his rookie year. But again, that offensive line in 2020 was crap for Justin Herbert, and he did really well, right? Obviously, offensive rookie of the year, but it does help when you have Eckler, Allen, Williams, and Hunter Henry. But he still was slinging the rock. 32nd ranked offensive line in 2020. 32nd ranked. So the Chargers are thinking, this is our franchise quarterback. We took him 6th overall. He's an offensive rookie of the year. We need to build around this guy. He has weapons. They really didn't add much to his weapon. They brought in Jared Cook, but other than that, because they lost Hunter Henry to the Patriots, but other than that, they still had Eckler, they still had Allen, they still had Williams. They really didn't need to do anything to the weapons aspect, but Pouncey retires and all this stuff. So what do? They go balls to the wall and get Justin Herbert a great offensive line. They bring in guard Ode Abushi, Matt Feeler. They draft Rashawn Slater. They sign Corey Linsley. Big signing there. And all of these moves for their franchise quarterback takes their offensive line from 32nd in the NFL to 10th last year. 10th. Side note, their offensive line coach is now our offensive coordinator. Makes me a little bit happy. But they went from worst to top 10 in offensive line because they're building around their franchise quarterback. They're treating their franchise quarterback like a franchise quarterback. Now we get to the Miami Dolphins, and now we get to the meat of the matter and my thought process and the things I've been thinking about lately. Because, again, I want to make sure that Tua Tagovailoa is the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback. We haven't had a franchise quarterback since Dan Marino. You could say Tannehill, but even Tannehill had his hiccups, and we never really felt like he was our franchise quarterback. And I'm with you. I'm not knocking any, but we constantly want Tua to be our franchise quarterback. But here's the thing. Justin Herbert, when he got drafted, got treated like the franchise quarterback. Joe Burrow, when he got drafted, he got treated like the franchise quarterback. Can you honestly sit here, unbiasedly, unbiasedly sit here and say Tua Tagovailoa, when he got drafted, was treated like the franchise quarterback, 5th overall pick. Now, some of you might say, well, why does he have to be treated like that? Well, Burrow and Herbert were. Do you think it's fair that they were? Do you think it was fair that they got the things to be successful? Because you look at Tua's situation, right? Tua Tagovailoa, 5th overall pick, coming off a gnarly hip injury. He comes in and he has to learn Fitz's playbook. He has to learn a completely different playbook. This playbook isn't predicated towards you. We're not going to ask you your 10 favorite plays of from Alabama. We're not going to predicate it to Oregon. You need to learn his playbook. I don't care if it's difficult for you, or I don't care. You need to learn his playbook, right? There's that. Then all of a sudden, let's see what this kid got, because we don't know what he could be. And God forbid he's not something that we want, so we got to move on from him. So we need to throw him in there against the Rams, against Aaron Donald. That's the thought process that the Dolphins had, right? Not, oh, he's showing signs of life and he's showing he can be something really good, or hey, Fitz went down because Fitz is injured, or hey, Fitz is playing really crappy. You know, he won 47-13 against the 49ers and he just blew out the Jets. So he's really sucking. So let's put to it. The thought process was, let's see what this kid can do so we know what we have. Does that sound like a franchise quarterback to you? That sounds like a guy you traded for that struggled on another team, and you're just trying to see, hey, let's see what he can do in live game action, right? So the Miami Dolphins, he didn't do bad. He didn't do bad. He didn't do great. He was okay. He had a few good games. He had that Cardinals game where really wowed some people. He had the Patriots game. He had some good games. But it was all right. So the season ends. And again, Dolphins offensive line when it came to 2020 was 28th ranked. Wasn't great, right? Wasn't great offensive line. But then all of a sudden the Watson stuff starts popping up. This kid played 8 games. 8 games. You drafted him 5th overall. 8 games. Now, again, I understand the thought process of you want to be better. Hey, but if we're looking for a franchise quarterback, you look at Joe Burrow. He got hurt. He didn't play a full season. You don't see them going after Deshaun Watson, and that's what I'm going to talk about. All year, all offseason, Deshaun Watson, right? Their offensive line was garbage, 28th ranked. So what do the Dolphins do? You got a franchise quarterback here. You took him 5th overall. You're going to treat him like a franchise quarterback? You're going to build around him? Well, they bring in Matt Skura. Cut him. He goes to play for the Giants. Actually, a really good guard. They trade for Isaiah Wilson. Cut him. They sign DJ Fluker. Cut him. They bring in Robert Jones. They bring in Jermaine Illuminora. Cut him. He actually is doing really good with the Raiders. They trade Eric Flowers. Are you kidding me right now? They draft Liam Eichenberg, and then the 7th round they draft Coleman. But Matt Skura, gone. Isaiah Wilson, you trade for him, gone. DJ Fluker, gone. Umanora, gone. Eric Flowers, gone. And then they bring in Waddle. You look at what Jamar, the Bengals did. They bring in Jamar Chase to add to T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon. The Dolphins brought in Waddle to add to Mike Gesicki. Yeah, there's still Will Fuller. I'm not going to knock that. And Devontae Parker is Devontae Parker. Are you afraid of facing Devontae Parker twice a year this year? Like, be honest with me. Are you afraid of facing him? And Preston Williams is never going to stay healthy. So the Miami Dolphins offensive line in 2020 went from 28th ranked to 32nd ranked this past season. Is that what you do around a franchise quarterback? Or is what the Bengals and the Chargers did what you do around a franchise quarterback? This is what I don't get. We want Tua to be a franchise quarterback, but God, we didn't build around him like a franchise quarterback, nor did we treat him like a franchise quarterback. And you still even look at it today, right? You had the Deshaun Watson situation, and the Dolphins like, we're not going to deal with that. That door's closed. Hey, but there's a chance we could bring in Tom Brady. No, that door's closed. No, we're not going to. I just find it so funny that, and again, I'm included, that we want Tua to be that franchise quarterback. You look at what the Bengals and the Chargers did. They built around their franchise quarterback. They tried to implement and make their rookie year easier from jump. And I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, did Tua really not necessarily get treated, but have a team built around him like a franchise quarterback? Like now he did in his third year. Tyreek Hill, Connor Williams, Teron Armstead, Edmonds, Mostert, like Cedric Wilson. This year, he got the stuff built around him. This year, he got kind of treated like a franchise quarterback. It took him 2 years. 2 years playing behind a garbage offensive line, 28th ranked, and last year 32nd ranked. But we're ready to put that nail. Some, I'm not saying a lot, but some are ready to put that nail in that coffin. He sucks. He's a bust. He's this, that. He's ranked this. And a lot of me thinking about all this stuff had to do with like all this stuff on Fox News is coming out and saying stuff like, what? So again, I asked you the question. Was Tua ever really seen or treated or built around as the franchise quarterback in Miami? And you might say to yourself, why does he have to be? Or why did Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert have to be? Why did they get that opportunity before they even played it down? Before they even played it down, the Burrow and Herbert had the opportunity where they had their coaches come to them and implement the offense for them. What are you comfortable doing? We'll do what you want to do because we want you to be successful. Whereas Tua's first day, you need to learn Fitzpatrick's offense. We don't care what you are comfortable doing. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, we need to see what Tua can do. Tua's actually pretty decent. Okay, we're going to give you 3 offensive coordinators. Who's calling the play? Which one of you 3 am I listening to right now? Just a thought I had, so I thought I'd make a video, especially being that this is the dead time of the month. So comment below. Let me know. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Take what I said. I laid down all the information, all the facts about Joe Burrow and what he went through and what the team did to make it better around him. Justin Herbert, again, out of the 3 of them, Justin Herbert got drafted into the best situation. I think the Chargers, out of the Dolphins, the Bengals, and the Chargers, was the best situation for a quarterback to be drafted in. The weapons he had around him, it was just the offensive line was garbage, and they fixed it to go from 32nd to 10th. I'm just glad we have their O-line coach as our offensive coordinator. But be sure to comment below. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like usual, stay classy. It fins up.